Happy Tuesday. It's time for Tidbit Tuesdays. Today's a very windy day, but last week I talked a little bit about special enrollment periods and having a new baby and how that triggers a special enrollment period. And I kind of hit on a few other things, but I wanted to dig a little bit deeper on the job change. So just changing your job doesn't trigger a special enrollment period for the marketplace. There are certain things that have to take place in order to actually trigger it. So the important thing is if you had health coverage before. So if you had health coverage before and you're choosing not to do COBRA, or you're losing the coverage because your new employer doesn't offer plans, then that triggers a special enrollment period. We only have 60 days from your loss of coverage, your status change, to get you enrolled. So this is very important, and I've recently just helped a couple people that made changes at the end of December, and it's almost the end of February, and they're like, and I'm like, oh no, you don't have all year. We've got to do this now. So where it comes into play in the marketplace, it asks a lot of questions when I'm filling out the application about loss of coverage, and you have to select when your coverage is either going to be lost or you have already lost it, because that's what will determine your 60-day period. So like right now, if I had a client that is going to lose coverage February 28th, I can actually get them coverage from March 1st because we would just indicate that on the application. So just changing a job, if you had a job that you did not have coverage and your new job does not offer coverage, then there's no special enrollment period, which really stinks, because you would think, oh, I switched jobs. And so usually ask a few more questions, because if you've changed zip codes, then that's a move, and that does qualify you potentially for a special enrollment period. So it's kind of following the rules and knowing what the rules are, and knowing there's a time limit for filing for changes. So another trigger for special enrollment with an employer is if your employer decides to drop your group coverage. So if they drop group coverage and you don't have a chance to do COBRA, which mostly you don't, they're dropping the coverage and you're just out of luck. That does trigger a special enrollment period because you're losing coverage. And because you're losing coverage, we now have 60 days to get you coverage by something else. So there's lots of rules and tricks that, if you don't know how to fill out the application correctly, could cause you to show that you're ineligible for coverage when you truly are eligible coverage, or vice versa. If you fill it out wrong and people think, oh, well, I got coverage, well, great, but when you do your taxes the following year, there's going to be some information they're going to ask, and if it appears that you received marketplace coverage outside of open enrollment, or you received a subsidy when you did not qualify, you could owe a lot of money to the IRS, and I try to help people avoid that. I really do. So if you're unsure if you have a special enrollment condition, you can always reach out to me. I'm happy to discuss this with you. Talking through it sometimes is the best way. I actually talked through a lady who kept talking to me about her spouse, and she was in a situation where she was going to need medical care and didn't sign up for coverage during open enrollment, and they thought they were going to get coverage through the spouse, and then apparently due to her job change, they only allowed her 30 days at the employer, and groups can not give you the 60 days. The 60 days is the marketplace insurance rule. And so they missed the 30-day cutoff, and she had no coverage, and she's got some medical things coming up. So I said, well, have you moved? Have you, I'm going through the list. And she goes, well, actually, my husband and I are not actually married. I call him my husband, but we file our taxes separate. She goes, so if we go get married, will that count as a special? And I was like, yes, go get married. Go get married. Now it's a special enrollment period, and you have 60 days on the marketplace, or the employer now, because there was a true, another true event, they have to allow them another 30-day period to enroll. So I was able to help that client by just talking through it. I may or may not help them with coverage, but that's okay. I was able to answer their questions. It only took a few minutes and help them decide where to go for their health care. So until next week, excuse me, until next week, take care and peace out. Oh, hop on over to my page, J Cup Consulting. See you there. Bye-bye.